They told us it was free, no annual fee, no hidden costs, just spend and earn rewards. And we believed them. Last year, Americans paid $254 billion in credit card interest and fees. $254 billion. To put that in perspective, if you counted $1,000 every second through, it would take you 8 years to reach that number. 8 years to count it, 1 year to charge it. So how did this become normal? The answer starts in 1978. In a courtroom most people have never heard of and ends in your wallet. 1974, America. Banks were bleeding money. The economy was in chaos. Inflation was running at 10, 11, sometimes 12%. People were paying more for groceries, gas, rent, everything. This period had a name: stagflation, high inflation, stagnant growth, the worst of both worlds, and banks were caught right in the middle. Every state had an interest rate cap, called usury laws, ancient rules written to protect ordinary people from predatory lenders. In New York, a bank couldn't charge more than 10% interest on a credit card, but inflation was already at 10%, which meant banks were lending you money, watching it lose value faster than they could earn it back, and calling that a business. Citibank, one of the biggest banks in the country, was losing $400 million a year from its credit card division alone. $400 million every year. They lobbied. They pushed politicians. They argued the rules needed to change. Nobody listened, so they stopped asking for permission. And in 1978, they found a different way. But what they found was one of the biggest legal heists in American history, and nobody noticed. 1980, Washington, D.C., the Supreme Court. A small case, Marquette National Bank versus First Omaha. Sounds boring, looks technical. The question: when a bank issues a credit card in a different state, whose interest rate law applies? 9 justices, 1 decision. The law of the state where the bank is located. No front-page news, no public outcry, not a single headline. But inside Citibank's offices, someone understood exactly what this meant. Find a state with no interest rate cap. Move there, on paper. Issue cards to the entire country from that address. Fully legal, fully invisible. CEO Walter Wriston opens a map. South Dakota, population 690,000, farming state. No banking history whatsoever. A call goes to the governor. Remove your interest rate cap. We'll bring 400 jobs. The governor agrees in 11 days, and Citibank, legally, officially, moves from New York to South Dakota. The next day, their credit card interest rate goes from the capped 12% to 19.8%, overnight. The following year, they mailed 26 million credit card offers from South Dakota to every corner of America. Delaware hears about it, panics. They call Chase Manhattan. Come here instead. South Dakota got the jobs. Delaware got the banks. Other states followed. One more state. One more state. Within a decade, every major bank had moved to a state with no interest rate cap. By 2003, 3/4 of all American credit card debt was being issued from states that held just 4% of the U.S. population. Your card came from South Dakota. You never knew. Now that rates were unlimited, banks had a new problem: competition. Every bank was moving to South Dakota or Delaware. Every bank was offering high-rate cards. So how do you get customers to choose your card? You make it feel like a gift. Cashback, miles points. Rewards programs didn't exist before this. They were invented specifically to make you spend more. And the research confirms it. Studies show people spend 12 to 18% more when paying by card versus cash. There's even a name for it: the pain of paying. Cash hurts. Swiping doesn't. The system was designed around that feeling. Here's how the math actually works. Every time you swipe your card at a store, the bank quietly charges that merchant between 1.5 and 3% of your purchase. The merchant doesn't fight it, because accepting cards increases their sales by 30%. So they pay, but they don't absorb the cost. They raise prices, which means every product you buy, whether you use a card or pay cash, already has that fee baked in. The cash customer is quietly subsidizing your rewards points and doesn't even know it. Now add one more layer. The premium card, the black card, the platinum card, charges the highest interchange fees. So the richer the cardholder, the more the store raises its prices to cover fees they can't afford to say no to. Research shows high-income cardholders earn about $20 a year from rewards. Low-income cardholders lose $12.75 every year, automatically, without a single decision. The math moves in one direction, always has. 1996, California. Barbara Smiley takes Citibank to court. They charged her a $15 late fee. She says it's illegal. California law protects me. The court disagrees. Citibank operates out of South Dakota. California law doesn't apply. Barbara Smiley loses. And every bank in America learns the same lesson at the same moment. Late fees have no ceiling either. $15 becomes $25. $25 becomes $35. $35 becomes $41. In 2024, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau tried to cap late fees at $8. The bank sued. A federal court blocked it. The cap never happened. That same year, Americans paid $14 billion in late fees alone. One woman's lost case, $14 billion. Today, the average credit card APR is 25.2%, the highest in modern history. The largest banks charge 8 to 10 percentage points more than credit unions. Same customer, same debt, just a different logo on the card. Up to $500 more per year. Total American credit card debt, $1.3 trillion. 13% of all cardholders are classified as persistent debtors. More than half of every payment they make goes straight to interest. The balance barely moves. They're not falling behind because they're irresponsible. They're falling behind because the system was built to keep them there. Here's what they never put in the ad. You spend $3,000 on a credit card. You pay the minimum every month. At today's average rate, 25.2%. 5 years later, you've paid over $2,000 in interest, and you still owe $2,000. The balance barely moved, but the bank collected twice. This is not a mistake. This is the product. In 2023, the 6 largest U.S. banks generated $43 billion in credit card revenue. Interest payments, the biggest slice. Minimum payments, the engine. Because inside the industry, a customer who pays in full every month has a name. They call them an orphan, not profitable enough to matter. The customer who carries a balance, who pays the minimum, who misses one payment. That's the customer the system was built around. You were never meant to win. You were meant to participate. And participation, on their terms, costs you more every single year, automatically. 1978, one Supreme Court decision. 1979, one handshake with a governor. 1981, woman's lost lawsuit. Today, $1.3 trillion in debt. None of these decisions were made with you in the room, but you're paying for all of them. The system wasn't designed against you personally. It was designed for profit, and you happen to be the most efficient path to it. The next time you see free on a card offer, ask what they're getting instead, because the business model was never the card. It was always the balance. If you're carrying debt on a card from one of the big 4 banks, you're likely paying up to $500 more per year than you need to. That's not opinion. That's the math. Know the rules, then decide. People who understand how the system was built don't get surprised by how it runs. Next video, the minimum payment, the number they want you to pay, and exactly what it's designed to cost you. Take care of your money.